give it one more minute. We'll go ahead and get started. Okay. All right, it's 2 o'clock. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Todd Jones, and this is part of our Patriots Charity Initiative, Pursuit of Happiness. Today we have Allison Rubel. She's the President and CEO of USO Illinois. Welcome, Allison.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day, beginning Memorial Day weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting weekend. So thanks for taking the time to be with us here today, Allison. Hey, I just want to start and first of all congratulate you on an outstanding career of service. I got to read over your resume, and it's just really impressive. You've really made a life and a career out of caring for others. Can you tell me a little bit about how, and our viewers, a little bit about how you got started in this work?
Well, it really speaks to the backbone of what the USO is all about, which is volunteerism. I mean, I started with the USO. I've been in Chicago over 20 years, and I was a musician, actually. And I started by volunteering with USO in doing an entertainment type of outreach. And that has evolved into learning about different programs. As I volunteered, I got more and more involved. And I like to say, I kept saying, yeah, I can do that. Yes, I'll do that. And it's just such a fulfilling, it was always such fulfilling work to me. And certainly that something as simple as reaching out and thanking those that serve our nation, that something as simple as that could mean so much, I think really just got involved, got into who I am. And so I think it is about giving back. It's about helping others. But it's about helping a very special group of men and women who even historically really have meant a lot to our nation. So it's not even just about helping the person. It's the help that the USO provides links to what our world is like. And that, I think, for me, is more even a global connection that makes this work even more important.
Wow, that's quite a mission. Yeah, I actually served in the military as well, and I know how special the USO was, not just from like an entertainment. Actually, B.B. King, who just passed away this last week, USO actually sent him to Bosnia when I was there. Sad to see the King go, but it was an amazing opportunity for me to see, firsthand and to experience the relief that the USO did from on a national level from an entertainment basis, but also having access to the facilities at the airports. Me specifically, the one that was important to me was Philadelphia, because that's where they shipped us back through. So today, USO Illinois has 5 locations, I believe, in the state: O'Hare, 1 and 2, Midway, Great Lakes, Rock Island. Can you tell us a little bit about what each one of the missions are for those locations and what they do?
Absolutely. Well, you started by talking about what the USO started being known for, which is entertainment, and you hit on something that's very vital, which is, of course, not only the entertainment, but the centers and what those represent. So our local centers are places of respite and comfort, recreation and connectivity for our service members and their families. More than half of today's service members have children, and so the USO has expanded to serve not just the service member, but their families as well. And so our centers are a place where at any given day, any hour, a service member can walk in and be greeted by a friendly volunteer. That it's like if you were in the Admirals Club, if you had the high miles and you wanted to walk into the posh environment where you could get a snack and put your feet up and check your email. That's what the USO is here in Illinois and at 160 locations around the world. And so we uphold that to the highest standard. At our airports, it's about military being on the go. What are the things you need when you're traveling? Sometimes if our younger service members who've really never traveled very much could get lost, or they missed a flight, or we're in Chicago and you've got bad weather. So sometimes they need a place to stay, yeah, overnight. Our USOs that are on military installations, which is our USO Great Lakes, which is located on the only boot camp in the Navy here, actually the only boot camp in our nation's Navy. And we have a USO on Rock Island Arsenal, which is the only Army installation here in Illinois. Those have really special missions as well, because besides being all the things that I mentioned before about respite, connectivity, and entertainment, they are really a part of those communities up there. So the Great Lakes military community, every branch of service, they also represent a place for others to go and to give back and to volunteer. And Rock Island Arsenal, of course, we're right on the border of Illinois and Iowa, so we do serve Iowa troops as well. And so I think the missions of our centers that are on military installations is we interface daily with our service members and the leadership, and we really let them know, we're there as part of the community, and we bring the local community in to help support them, which is, again, another prime tenet, I guess, or prime mission of the USO is to be that bridge between military and civilian communities, and that's what our centers do.
Well, it's so vital. I mean, it's such a needed aspect. One of the things you talk about connectivity. One of the things that I find really, really important about the work that USO Illinois specifically does, and I tell this story when I'm training even my own bankers, and I'm talking to them about the challenges that servicemen and women have. Is you have somebody who's deployed, right, and they're gone for, let's just say, a year. And back home, you have a spouse who's now the alpha, right? They have to take care of everything. They're in charge of paying the bills and running everything. And when this serviceman or woman comes home, the first thing they want to do is they want to, relax and kick their feet up. But on the flip side, the spouse, the first thing they want to do when the individual gets home is kick their feet up and relax, because now they've got help. And those two things clash, right? So you got two people who want to relax and they don't know how to engage. And you guys do something really special to help families get to know each other again and get to understand their goals and help them. Can you talk a little bit about your retreat concept? I find that just so amazing.
Absolutely. You hit on one of the prime important things, obviously, to support our troops is when they come home, and that reconnection to community and family. We have a program, actually, we're celebrating its 9th year this year. Next year it'll be 10 years of USO Camp R&R. The R&R stands for Rest and Relaxation. And that is a summer camp in the pristine North Woods of Wisconsin. And it is a 1-week, all expenses paid retreat vacation for military families that have recently reconnected after a deployment or multiple deployments, or extenuating circumstances. And I've been up there, and I'll tell you, at first, when you can't use your cell phone, you feel a little, what am I going to do? But after about a day, you feel freed. And I think that the fact that there's no TV, there's no cell phones, but there's hiking, biking, fishing, water skiing. There's local fairs and festivals. They do a lot of recreational activities. Through those things, they find one another again, and they find the things that are important, and it helps them to focus on each other. And I think we've watched families just be transformed by the experience, and it's really special that the USO can be that. We don't necessarily guide them. They find their own way, but the location and the setting and the fact that I think they know the USO is there to support them enables them to find their way. And so it's really a special program. I'm really pleased you brought that up, because it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's so neat. It's so needed. That connection, unfortunately, the divorce rate for returning troops is actually pretty bad, and I think that more activities like that, more opportunities for people to kind of unplug and get to know each other again is so vital. And I think that the military is doing a good job of trying to recognize now that is an issue. But it continues to kind of be a thorn in the side of the military families. So thank you for doing that. I think it's spot on. I've been fortunate enough to go to a couple of the galas, and I've actually seen videos and talked to some of the people that have gone to the retreat. And obviously they're just enormous proponents. When's the gala this year? It's in October, isn't it?
Yeah, our Star Spangled Salute Gala is October 24th. It's at the Field Museum this year in Stanley Hall. Beautiful room. We're really excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never been to an event at the Field Museum. That should be really cool. Or are we going to be able to like walk around and like look at the exhibits as well? Or
I think somewhat. Sue is going to be right there in the room with you in the Grand Hall. So.
That's so cool.
Well, we love this space, and I think certainly to honor our gala is it's a fundraiser to support the USO. It is a vital event for us. However, it also is a opportunity for people to come together to celebrate and to honor our military. And I really can think of no better sitting than that kind of grand room for the grand kind of celebration and what our troops deserve. So as much as it is a way to support the USO, it's a celebration, patriotic celebration, but a way to thank and give back. And so we're going on quite a few years of doing this gala, and next year is the USO's 75th anniversary, 75 years of the USO, and so stay tuned, because that will be a blowout party for sure.
So actually, I can see I have a little ticker here of how many people are watching this, and then we also have another ticker for the people who logged on online. But if somebody wanted to attend the gala, what's the best way for them to get tickets?
Right now, just go to our website, which is usoofillinois.org, all spelled out USOOFILLINOIS, Illinois spelled out.org. And there's a tab there for events. Just click on that, and you can actually get all the information about the event right there.
Awesome. I'm going to be there for sure this year. So if anybody wants to get together beforehand, and we can like get together and maybe take a car over, it'd be great. So please sign up for that. How do you? That's a huge portion of your fundraising every year. I was actually shocked to see just how much of the fundraising took place at the gala. What other ways do you guys raise your money?
Well, we have some incredible partnerships with Bridgeview Bank, of course, and we have other things coming up this summer, which are some really fun ways that people can get involved and give back. We have a partnership with the Chicago Auto Trade Association, the CATA. Barbecue for the Troops kicks off July 1st at dealerships all around Chicagoland. Throughout the month of July, you can go and enjoy some barbecue and give back to the USO. You can go to our website and donate right there on the website. And we have other initiatives throughout the year. We have an event on August 20th called Clark After Dark, which is the only block party in downtown Chicago, and it's right on Hubbard Street between Clark and LaSalle. Our partners at Boss Bar and Alderman Brendan Riley actually supports that, makes that possible for us to have it in that space. It's a blowout party of live music, bands. It's just a great time, and that's August 20th as well. So that's a great partnership as well. Yeah.
Clark After Dark, August 20th. All right, I got it. I'm going to make sure I show up for that one too. That sounds cool.
Well, keep your social calendar full.
You said live music. You mentioned that earlier. I'm not sure I knew that. You were a musician before? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Or I guess you're a musician still.
Well, yeah. So I started in Chicago here singing jazz. So I have a couple albums out, and that was actually, I guess as we started this conversation, my foray into the USO was singing at, I don't know if people out there remember the Pump Room. That was a classic room in Chicago. It's now called something else, but I was singing there every weekend for a while, and that was one of the places I sung. So I've done a lot of different gigs around the city. That's been about it's been a few years ago now. This USO work is definitely a commitment for me, and so haven't had a lot of time to do that as much, but definitely those are my beginnings, and enjoy that time very much.
Just an FYI, they relaunched the Pump Room. It's actually, they gave it a facelift and put it back out there, and it's really quite a hot spot right now.
I visited. Yeah, they still have the pictures of all the famous folks in there, which was good to see.
It was at table number 1. They used to have a phone on the table, right? Yeah, that was a big deal back there.
I think Frank Sinatra's table. He'd pick up the phone and could order what he wanted.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So
Classic
jazz.
Chicago.
All right. So can you tell? Yeah, actually, Jeremy is in here with me as well, and he was just asking, what are like, as you look back at your career at the USO, and you've been there for, you basically moved all the way up the ranks in the USO, obviously. But what's the largest success story, or is there one that sticks out to you that just really, means a lot and kind of epitomizes what the USO is all about?
Well, honestly, it's probably some of the smaller moments that really have meant the most, because I think the amazing thing about the USO is that we really speak to the heart of the person inside that uniform. And so sometimes the smallest moments are the biggest speak the volumes for me. I guess I remember around in 2008 or 9, we had the largest deployment here in Illinois since World War II. It was the 33rd Brigade, Illinois National Guard. And I think it was about 4,500 troops over a course of a couple years had deployed. And then they started coming home, and there was a giant welcome home ceremony for them at Soldier Field. And I just remember being there and, having our USO flag waving and being there to welcome them home, but also being a part of their families while they were deployed and really connecting to them. And I will tell you, I think, over more than a decade, as the USO here in Illinois has responded to the needs of our troops, we've gotten to know these troops. The Guard, they live here. Our Guard and reservists, they're citizens of the state. We, of course, in Illinois at our airports, we serve troops from all over the world that come through, and certainly troops that become stationed here, they become part of who we serve. But the Guard is also someone I've seen these soldiers. I remember meeting a soldier who had started in the lower ranks and has worked his way up or her way up, and that's really fun to see. So I remember that homecoming as just the energy in the room. You have thousands of people coming together. I think for me that's been some of the most fulfilling work, and know that even the smallest things that we could do, whether that was a care package or a free ticket for their family to enjoy while they were deployed, that we had a part in their lives, was really powerful.
That's great work. Must have been an amazing energy having everybody that size of a homecoming. Just the energy must have been outstanding. So one of the things I wanted to touch on is as an alternative. So we have for fundraising. So we have the gala coming up in October. We've got Clark After Dark on August 20th. It looks like you've got the barbecue for troops as well. You can go online and donate. One alternative we have, and Allison, that we are committed to the USO and to veterans' needs in general, taking care of veterans' needs. So we have the Patriots Charity Initiative. So anybody's on the phone or on the line here today might be watching one other alternative. If you happen to be looking to buy a home, or you happen to need to refinance, any loan that we do at Bridgeview Bank Mortgage Company, BBMC Mortgage, we will donate $150 to one of 4 charities. And those 4 charities that you can choose from are USO Illinois, the Mission Continues, Team Rubicon, and Folds of Honor. And so obviously here today we have USO Illinois, and so I would recommend, or I would actually encourage you, if you're looking, to take a look at BBMC Mortgage and see if there's another way that you can participate, a different way that you can participate with USO Illinois. So I had to throw that plug in there, Allison, real quick. Is there anything that you'd like to highlight for our viewers here today that they need to know, or you'd like to know? I mean, there's a parade tomorrow as well, right? Memorial Day parade. You guys are going to walk in the parade. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's right. So tomorrow is Chicago's Memorial Day parade. I think it's still the largest Memorial Day parade in the nation. We have I'm told a 30 vehicle long caravan in the parade. So USO will be out in force. That's right. We have the Northern Illinois chapter of the Military Vehicle Preservation Association. I got all that in. They are providing antique military vehicles that are one of a kind. They're outstanding. So we have volunteers who will be coming out and riding on those to honor. And, certainly we have a bit of levity as we talk about the parade and what that is. But, I think you hit on it earlier, the symbol of what Memorial Day is. Really, it's honoring the service, the legacy, and the ultimate sacrifice that so many through our through the different eras, through the different conflicts, have made in service to the nation. So I think it's a really powerful thing. And the USO, we've been part of that parade as long as that parade has occurred here in Chicago. And I think that we look at that as not only a way to honor those that have served and are serving, but also to really be a symbol that year long, the USO is there to be that bridge to show the appreciation and to remind people that the men and women who are serving our nation today are still out there on the front lines, ready at a moment's notice, to drop what they're doing and go out and defend our nation or to secure liberty around the world. And I think it's really easy in our day-to-day lives sometimes to forget that is happening, even right now. And so we're excited to be part of that parade. I think all that speaks to me when I am in the parade every year, and I remember it's as much as being in that parade, but thinking about all those men and women that are overseas right now, even this very moment. And so, that's a great event to get involved with.
Well, I'm going to bring my family down there tomorrow as well. This is going to be my first time actually participating and walking in it, but I'm hoping that it's a lasting memory for my children and something that we can continue to do moving forward. I think that Memorial Day, sometimes it gets confused. Like sometimes people almost treat it like it's Veterans Day. Now, obviously, we want to always appreciate the sacrifices, the ongoing sacrifices, and the USO does such an amazing job of connecting us and making sure that we remember that. But it really is about those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. I did some research when I was on a trip this week, and I think there's 2.7 million altogether casualties of war since in all of our American wars, and so 2.7 million people have paid that ultimate sacrifice. And it's a weekend, right? It's a holiday, but I think it's 3 p.m. on Monday that we have a moment of silence, and and it's weird. It's not something you look forward to, but I think it's so important to really explain to your family, to maintain our culture, what are we actually taking the time to memorialize. And it's a neat time of the year. It's a neat holiday, and I can't thank you enough for participating and making sure that we stay connected and understand.
Absolutely. I was going to say, year round, the USO, another thing we do at our centers is support families of the fallen and our Gold Star families that we do. Families of the fallen are, of course, families that are traveling to meet their fallen loved one at Dover Air Base. And any USO around the world will do this, where we meet the family at the gate. It's a very difficult time in their life, and the USO is there to provide them the space they need or the help they need, and that we do 365, 24/7. And then, our Gold Star families, which are a reminder of just what you said, about those that have served and given the ultimate sacrifice. And here in Illinois, we're committed to the support of those families. Every Mother's Day, we send yellow rose bouquets to Gold Star mothers from Illinois because we want them to know that we haven't forgotten. And it's a very powerful thing. So, not just Memorial Day, but year round, to take a moment and pause and think of those that sacrifice. So it's very much a part, I think, of our weekly lives here and daily sometimes, unfortunately.
Gosh, I just got chills thinking about that. I can't even imagine how important that must be for those families to know that they're not forgotten and they're appreciated, and the sacrifice of their loved ones appreciated. Well, Allison, it is an honor to be associated with, to have you on here today, to be associated with the USO, the good work that you guys are doing for all of our servicemen and women and their families. Your career is one that's just amazing. It's one of service. I appreciate so much the work that you're doing and the work that the USO does. Thank you for taking the time to be on here today. Are there any last things you'd like to say before we let everybody off the line?
Well, I want to salute you, Todd. I want to salute Bridgeview Bank for your support of the USO, for your commitment to supporting those who serve our nation. It's an honor for us as the USO to support them, and it's an even greater joy to partner and to have the community around us to make that support possible. So I want to salute you, and I want to thank you all for everything and everyone out there that does make a difference in the lives of our troops and their families.
It sure does. Thank you so much for that sentiment. You make it really easy to get behind. I mean, you guys do great work. So thank you so much for your time today, Allison. I know you're extremely busy. I hope to see you tomorrow at the parade. Happy Memorial Day, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, we'll see you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.